It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, your emails at randykabc@gmail.com, and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. Well, here we are. We are about 10 months away from the June primary when it comes to the re-election of Karen Bass to be the mayor of Los Angeles.
Well, absolutely.
And so far, it looked like she was running pretty much unopposed. There are a few people that have filed to run. In fact, I interviewed one on Friday on the John Phillips Show, Assad Al-Najjar. He's a city engineer, and he had some very interesting things to say. Has very little name ID, but he is somebody that is running against Karen Bass. But for the most part, even though you can see that there is quite a lot of displeasure with how Karen Bass has run this city over the last 4 years.
It's not a namsy-pamsy thing.
We haven't really seen many big-name prominent people. Now, maybe that's because a lot of people are still waiting to see what Rick Caruso is going to do. Is he going to run for mayor? Is he going to run for governor? Is he going to say, screw it, I'm not doing any of that? At some point, we'll find out. He said when the summer's over, the summer is long over. But what do you know? Today, we all wake up, and what do we see? There is somebody out there that is willing to challenge Karen Bass to be the mayor of Los Angeles in 2026, taking us through the 2028 Olympics and beyond. Somebody has seen this.
If you're feeling down, if you're feeling blue, let's get help for you.
And said, I can do better. And he's a fairly familiar face to Los Angeles. The former superintendent of LAUSD, Austin Beutner, put out a video today saying that he is challenging Karen Bass. He is running for mayor. So let's hear him out. Let's hear what he has to say. What are the fixes that he has for the problems of Los Angeles, which are many? He put out a 4-minute video. I got to imagine there's going to be a lot of policy in here and a lot of ideas on how to fix the city of Los Angeles. Let's see what we've got. This came out on YouTube this morning.
I was on my regular early morning bike ride about 17 years ago.
Okay, so we're doing a biography campaign. Oh, boy. Look, I know there's a lot of people who probably forgot who Austin Beutner was because even being the superintendent, that was quite a while ago, and we have short attention spans. But if you're going to reintroduce yourself to the audience, are we going back 17 years? Well, I said we'd play the video. He's only getting this free for once. You made to play this video twice. You buy an ad.
I was on my regular early morning bike ride about 17 years ago when my life changed in an instant. A few surgeries and many months later, with a few spare parts in my neck, I had lots of rehab ahead of me and plenty of time to think about what's next.
Oh, see, I thought this was going to be like, this is why we need to fix the sidewalks. No, not that.
I'm Austin Beutner. This is my LA story. My mom taught in the same public schools I attended. My dad came to this country as a child, served in the Air Force, and worked in the factory floor. I always worked, helping pay for college. I built a successful business with employees and clients around the world, but 17 years ago, that accident changed everything. I decided to take a different path. I was asked to serve as first deputy mayor focused on job creation.
So his first accolade as to why this is the guy that should be the next mayor is he was a deputy mayor for Mr. Peanut.
No, Peanut.
Antonio Villaraigosa did make Austin Beutner a deputy mayor in, I think, 2011 or 2010 to focus on small business, which, by the way, I don't know if when it exploded to the fact where like Karen Bass has like 5 or 6 deputy mayors for all kinds of different things, and no one knows exactly what it is they do except for that deputy mayor of public safety that was calling in fake bomb threats.
I was asked to serve as first deputy mayor focused on job creation. One small example, we cut in half the time needed to get a restaurant open. Sounds easy, right?
From 10 years to 5 years.
Sounds easy, right? Wrong. Change in government is never easy, but it starts by asking the right questions. So I started asking
this is nothing that he can control, but he's got a little bit of a whistly cadence. And I remember this when I used to download his COVID-19 briefings, talking about how he's going to keep the schools closed even longer, which I think is the hardest part about Austin Beutner running for mayor. Is while Karen Bass is horrible, and everyone can agree that Karen Bass is horrible.
We're a little late.
Austin Beutner's most recent claim to fame was the guy in charge of the schools that bent over backwards to allow Cecily Myrick Cruz to keep the kids on Zoom school longer than anywhere else. And that's a tough one.
So I started asking teachers, why are kids falling behind? I learned 1 in 5 children needed glasses to read, but kids in low-income communities didn't have them. So I decided to do something about it.
More than 2 million kids in the U.S. do not have the glasses they need to see.
Okay, so now this is a puff up. This is the greatest guy ever. Look at him. He got glasses for kids, which is a very nice thing. But this is a short window to make your first impression as somebody that wants to tackle the city of Los Angeles and become the mayor. And we're still in biography mode. What are you doing? What is the thing that you want to do? What's Karen Bass doing wrong? What can you do better?
And Vision to Learn's founder, Austin Beutner, is on a mission to change that.
We put eye doctors in mobile clinics and sent them to schools to provide free eye exams and glasses.
Okay. What have you done for me lately?
More than 600,000 kids across the country and 200,000 in Los Angeles now have the glasses they need to succeed in school and in life.
The way those kids' faces light up when they put on glasses and they're like, wow, I could see way better than I did before.
Okay, then. You know, as a former Four Eyes, I feel for those kids. Although I'm in a very unique situation. I had glasses, although I don't think I really needed them. I'm pretty sure when I was like 6 or 7, I just thought glasses were cool. And I don't know how entirely honest I was at my eye exam. Turns out that will screw up your eyes. And I did correct it when I got laser surgery about 21 years ago. And I think part of the reason that it has lasted is I don't think I ever had the major problem to begin with. But, you know, I used to use my glasses as an excuse to get food. I'm not making this up, and it's one of the more embarrassing stories of my childhood. But I was craving a McDonald's Big and Tasty so bad. And currently, at the time, the optometrist that we used was inside the Walmart. And inside the Walmart was a McDonald's. I purposely broke my glasses, told my parents that somebody pushed me to the ground at my junior high school so we could get them fixed and I could get a Big and Tasty. Is it any wonder I ended up in radio?
A few years ago, I was asked to lead LA's schools during some tough times.
Okay, again, this is the hard part. Again, we're halfway through this ad. It's all biography, but now we're going into the part of the biography that Austin Beutner looks the weakest in. Because the one thing people do remember about his tenure as superintendent was that COVID happened and LAUSD kept those schools closed for longer than anywhere else.
Get that money!
Oh, and they also gave Cecily a bunch of money.
Again, I focus on our kids. If they struggle with reading, they'll fall behind. So we started a program called...
Wait, wasn't there a bunch of learning loss when it comes to the Zoom school?
So we started a program called Primary Promise. Put putting a reading specialist in school classrooms alongside teachers, and students made big gains in reading and math.
But 9-year-old Gray's mother says her son's future is brighter thanks to Primary Promise.
When COVID hit,
I'd love to see some numbers of the actual improvement. Like, okay, how high did test scores go? Because right now we're getting very general.
we made sure every student had a computer and internet access to stay connected and continue learning. And when the economy closed down, we provided 140 million free meals to help kids and their families make it through.
It was always the funniest thing about when the schools were locked down and Beutner would put on these weekly press conferences on, I don't even think they were on YouTube. I think they were on like Facebook, and they were a pain in the ass to load. But the one thing he'd always talk about is, hey, we got really good at passing out the free food. And the whole job of us at LAUSD is to feed your kid, not so much educate your kid. Technically, that's Cecily's job.
Our babies.
But she was more interested in making sure that all of her union members didn't have to take off the pajamas.
Let's go!
LAUSD Superintendent Austin Beutner gave a thumbs up as crews loaded up huge pallets of food headed for communities in need.
Teachers, parents, and kids.
Again, that whole time is hard to look at as a success. There are so many long-lasting impacts of keeping the kids out of school that we're just now starting to bounce back from the learning loss. But outside of the academic problems, we don't even know what the social problems are going to be. Kids are going to get weird.
Teachers, parents, and kids all rose to the challenge. LA's middle school students had the biggest gains in reading of any large school district in the country. Later,
compared to what?
Later, when I learned most schools didn't have a full-time arts or music program, I thought, wait, this is Los Angeles. You got to be kidding me. No one had a fix for that. So I wrote Proposition 28, built a coalition to put arts and music back in our schools without raising taxes on anyone.
It was, by the way, interesting. It was like the only proposition I've ever seen that the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association said, yes, this looks great. And Austin Beutner does get credit. He got a coalition together. He wrote this Prop 28 to make sure that arts and music are funded in schools and it doesn't raise your taxes, which I'm a huge fan of, because I think my school experience was greatly enhanced by the fact that I was in music programs. I think that made me pay way more attention to everything else because I was a clarinetist. I regret picking the clarinet because at the time I didn't think it was cool. But I think those programs helped me a lot. And I'm glad that my school district, the Newhall School District, and then the William S. Hart School District had those. The problem is, if Austin Beutner wants to tout Prop 28 as one of the reasons that he should be the mayor of Los Angeles, is about 6 months ago, Austin Beutner announced that he is suing LAUSD because LAUSD is refusing to fund Proposition 28 and is allegedly stealing the money.
Former LAUSD Superintendent Austin Beutner authored the proposition.
I think it'll be about $1 billion a year. It's the largest investment in arts and music in our nation's history.
And they were supposed to hire music teachers, and they didn't. So what do we do now?
I mean, this man is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. My biggest criticism of this entire ad is this quote from, I'm guessing, a news person saying this about Austin Beutner, and I don't know what the context is.
I mean, this man is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
That is just, it is a little self-serving. And now, we are 3 minutes into this piece. He still hasn't even mentioned why he's running for mayor or what are the problems he wants to solve. This has been a How Awesome Am I retrospective video, like this guy just had his bar mitzvah. Come on.
For 17 years in public life, I've learned how to get things done and just how special Los Angeles is. My wife and I raised our 4 children here, our creative, vibrant, diverse city that's sadly under attack. I'll never accept the Trump administration's assault on our values and our neighbors.
We're starting with that. By the way, the whistle's back. But we're starting with that before we get into, I don't know, the fires or homelessness or the lack of LAPD staffing or, okay, it's your money. By the way, call our sales department. We've got ad time for you.
Targeting people solely based on the color of their skin is unacceptable and un-American. I'll counter these injustices and work to keep every person safe and build a better Los Angeles.
Okay, we're getting to some hows now. I think we have the why, maybe. Gavin says always got to have your why. But what are you going to do that is different?
Which brings me to the race for mayor.
Here we go. All right. 3 minutes and 23 seconds in a I'm running for mayor video, Austin Beutner is going to talk about running for mayor. Let's hear him out.
Which brings me to the race for mayor. LA's adrift. It seems every day our city is becoming more expensive, less safe, and a more difficult place to live.
Accurate.
The city spent billions to solve problems that have just become bigger problems.
Also accurate.
Homelessness, the cost of housing, the loss of jobs and opportunity. We'll fight for what we need in Washington, but we need to solve our own problems.
How? By the way, the music for this is so cliche.
Fire hydrants that don't work are a metaphor for the failure of leadership in City Hall.
Okay, we finally got to one specific thing, one specific criticism, and it's a big one. And considering Beutner's a resident of the Palisades, maybe that's why he thinks he's got a chance here. Because this is something that people need to attack Karen Bass with nonstop. This shows the failure at government at every level, especially with everything that's coming out from the whistleblowers from the LAFD right now.
Fire hydrants that don't work are a metaphor for the failure of leadership in City Hall. I voted for Karen Bass last time.
Uh-oh. See, this is where Austin Beutner is going to have a really tough time. Because maybe he's going to be relatable in the sense that he's like, hey, I, like you, mistakenly voted for Karen Bass instead of Rick Caruso.
I voted for Karen Bass last time. We had hopes. But now...
Boy, does he like to whistle.
I voted for Karen Bass last time. We had hopes. But now, even she admits we need a citywide turnaround. I agree.
That's a weird, passive-aggressive way of openly criticizing her. Feel like we could have taken this entire 4-minute video to talk about all the things that you think she's done wrong. We've identified about 1.5.
I agree. Los Angeles needs change. This isn't an ordinary time, and I'm not an ordinary candidate. But we've solved tough problems before. Together, we can get Los Angeles back on track.
And then it shows the logo, austinforla.com. And I think I'm the first person to click on it. And I was imagining, okay, we got the intro video. I'm sure the news channels would just play like 20 seconds of it, except for me because I got time. And I'll go to the website and I'll see what the policies are, what this guy wants to do differently. It's a very bare bones website. There's a big button that says donate now, which pretty sure this guy's independently wealthy, so sure. Let's get LA back on track. And then it's in text, the same bio that was in the video. There is not a page on here for what he's going to do about homelessness, what he's going to do about crime, police staffing, the fires. There's no policy page whatsoever. Maybe that's coming in the future. Maybe. I'm going to follow him on social media just in case to see if anything comes out of this. So here we go. We were trying to see who was going to be running against Karen Bass in 2026. And the first prominent person out of the gate is former LAUSD Superintendent Austin Beutner.
Fire hydrants that don't work are a metaphor for the failure of leadership in City Hall. I voted for Karen Bass last time. We had hopes. But now, even she admits we need a citywide turnaround.
Austin Beutner is running for LA mayor. What do you think? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Are you backing Beutner? Are you waiting for someone else to get in this race? Do you think it's inevitable that Karen Bass is going to get another 4 years? What say you? Let's hear your honest-to-God reaction to the fact that Austin Beutner is running for mayor of Los Angeles. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Get on the line right now. Tell me your honest opinion. This is the guy.
I voted for Karen Bass last time. We had hopes. But now, even she admits we need a citywide turnaround.
Tell me what you think. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Austin Beutner, the former superintendent of LAUSD, announced today that he is running for LA mayor.
I voted for Karen Bass last time. We had hopes. But now, even she admits we need a citywide turnaround.
What do you think about Austin Beutner for LA mayor? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's start with Vera in Torrance. Vera, hello.
Hi. If there's nobody on the ticket, I got to vote for him. I pray that somebody else gives me a little bit more information, but she got to go. I don't think
so. Let me guess, you're an ABB voter. Anyone but Bass.
And for sure, for real. We've already went down that railroad track, and it didn't look too good at the end.
I think you're right about that. And hey, she's still got a year and a half left on her term. Let's see how much of the city she's going to burn down next.
Oh my God! Don't tell me that. I'm fixing to go into convulsions. Okay, that brought. Oh my God. Anyway. She's out. She's got to go.
Well, thank you so much for the call, Vera. Appreciate it. Vera says Karen Bass has got to go. And hey, if this guy can do it, and I think there is definitely that consensus. Maybe some people want it to be Rick Caruso. Maybe some people are into it being Austin Beutner. I don't think there's anyone from the LA City Council who is going to run or even think about running. Tracy Park may be in another term. I don't think Monica Rodriguez is. So, yes, there's definitely an anyone but Bass crowd. There are some smaller candidates running. I really enjoyed my interview with Assad Al-Najjar, but here we go. What do you think? Austin Beutner is running for LA mayor.
I voted for Karen Bass last time. We had hopes. But now, even she admits we need a citywide turnaround.
800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. What do you think about Austin Beutner running for mayor against Karen Bass? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, your emails at randykabc@gmail.com, and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. This week is the end of Gavin Newsom's chances to sign or veto hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bills. And while some of the bigger ones have gotten a lot of attention, let me just remind you that there are hundreds and hundreds of bills that are passed in the legislature every single year. Gavin Newsom got quite a bit of attention for on a Friday morning signing SB 79. No press conference, no signing ceremony. I think he knew that he didn't want to deal with whatever blowback was going to be there. Plus, I don't think a whole lot of local officials wanted to be up there with him, although Scott Wiener would have. But that's not the only bill that he has signed in the last few days. There's been quite a few that affect all different kinds of things, from mental health to even buying a used car. Let's start with this report from CBS 8 as Gavin looks to expand Care Court. One of the ultimate Gavin Newsom examples of a man who puts out big, flashy headlines, overpromises, underdelivers.
We've leaned in.
Because Care Court has been used, I don't want to say never, but whatever's really close to never. Let's hear how they're going to make Care Court work now. Here's CBS 8 in San Diego.
His Care Court program requires counties to step up more when battling issues of mental health and homelessness. It allows those like family members, first responders, and medical providers to file a petition with the courts on behalf of someone they think needs treatment.
It keeps the individual who is in distress at the center of the story. It's a higher level of care without having a locked setting.
See, this is where a lot of people didn't understand what the hell Care Court was going to be, because ultimately, when it was being sold by Gavin Newsom, the idea of you've got mentally ill people on the streets, drug-addicted people on the streets, they cannot make decisions for themselves. So whether it's a family member or a first responder that sees them, they can petition the court. They can compel the court to take ownership of this person and force them into some kind of treatment. But that's not what we got. What we got was a family member or a first responder can petition the court to offer a voluntary treatment program. And when these programs are voluntary, well, very few people are going to take them up on it, because otherwise they would already say yes to the tons of other voluntary programs that are offered to them every single day.
That's the point of the Community Assistance, Recovery, and Empowerment, or Care Court system.
If your bill has an acronym, stop it.
That's the point of the Community Assistance, Recovery, and Empowerment, or Care Court system, says longtime advocate Elizabeth Kino Hopper. In fact, Hopper has utilized it, filing a petition for her daughter, who is unhoused, experiencing mental health struggles and addiction.
If I didn't alert the county through this Care Court system, this was a person in need, that there would be a higher risk of hospitalization.
Governor Gavin Newsom Friday signed.
So what happened? Did it work out? I feel like we need more to that story.
Governor Gavin Newsom Friday signed Senate Bill 27 aimed at improving Care Court.
It cuts down on the hearings, and it also expands it beyond schizophrenia to those with bipolar disorder with psychotic features.
For voluntary treatment. It's this whole nonsense of we don't want locked facilities. And part of the reason we don't want locked facilities is one of the dirty little secrets of local politics. Nobody wants to pay for it. The city of LA, the county of LA, the state of California love to put together programs that they don't have to pay for. And there are a lot of things that you can get Medicare to pay for, that you can get Medicaid to pay for. But one of the things you cannot get Medicaid to pay for, thanks to a bill that went through Congress in the late 90s, is you cannot go through and fund a locked mental health facility with more than 16 beds. I don't know why we got to that arbitrary number, but if you think about the amount of resources that we have to fight the mental illnesses that we already are seeing on our streets, and the most that we can build is facilities with 16 beds, you can see how incredibly inefficient that is. But that's the Medicaid IMD exception, which apparently there are waivers for, and California has not filed for one.
Democratic state.
So instead, we do Care Court, which doesn't do much.
Democratic State Senator Thomas Umberg, who has been at the forefront of Care Court since its origins, admits there are gaps, noting that's why Senate Bill 27 was passed.
You don't want to have people die under a bridge with their rights on. You want to do what you can, in my view, to get them to a place where they're no longer homeless, where they're no longer psychotic, where they're no longer...
So are we forcing them in there? Because if we're not, then this is still going to do nothing.
Either creating a danger to themselves or others, and we can do that.
Once a petition is...
I think we played the sound, right? It was a few weeks ago where Care Court is just starting to be implemented in Los Angeles County. and the Department of Mental Health and the Department of Health Services put together this whole presentation. LA County not only is the biggest county in the state, biggest county in the nation, it also by far has the most homeless people of anywhere and the most mentally ill people of anywhere. And when all of this is set up and running, Care Court in Los Angeles County in its first year is expected to help 80 people. There are 48,000, and in fact, in the county of Los Angeles, there are 70,000 homeless, but Care Court, once it's fully implemented, was going to take 80 people off the streets, which tells you that these programs are meaningless.
Either creating a danger themselves or others, and we can do that.
Once a petition is filed for an individual, they have the choice for voluntary treatment like counseling, medication, and housing. If they refuse, a judge can order participation in a treatment plan.
Are we doing that? So far, I don't think we're doing that.
Mental health and homeless advocate Monica Porter Gilbert opposes Care Court.
You don't agree to participate, quote, voluntarily, then you are ordered into compliance. And so in that case, it's not voluntary.
She adds that it's expensive and has yet to deliver promised results.
Well, that is true. No matter what side you are on this, Care Court, which Gavin Newsom put together in 2022, has nothing that he can tout as a celebration.
What we're seeing, again, just very initially, is that very few people are actually, quote, graduating from this program.
All 58 counties do participate in Care Court. In a statement, the nonprofit California State Association of Counties says, quote, as the program expands, adequate resources will be essential to meet new requirements and ensure it best serves the people it's designed to help. SB 27 will take effect January 1st. Jenny He, CBS 8.
And I don't think it's going to have any noticeable difference on the minuscule percentages of a percentage of people that need help that are getting help from Care Court. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. If you'd like to email us, you could do so at randykabc@gmail.com. Jack in West Hills writes in, Randy, when it comes to Austin Beutner running for mayor, if he does the job as well as he used all those opportunities to point out Karen Bass's failures, he'll be as much, if not more, of a disappointment as she has been and continues to be. Regardless, keep up the good work. If you're going to make that wave, you're going to put the money in putting together a video, shouldn't it have some policy in there? Shouldn't have some more pointed criticisms of the person you're running against? Maybe we'll get that in the future, but at least in my opinion, the launch of Austin Beutner's mayoral campaign was underwhelming. Hey, look at this. 790 KABC welcomes Smartless live with Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett at the Hollywood Bowl on November 15th. That sounds like a good time. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. But right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-790-5222. Get a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by Live Nation. Good luck dialing. That's a cool prize. Call in and get it. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Another bill that Gavin Newsom signed, and I'm not sure who was asking for this, but all right. Now, in California, if you go to a car dealer to buy a used car, you have a 3-day window, no questions asked, to return that car because you think you made a huge mistake. For more, here's CBS 8.
The new law called the Combating Auto Retail's Scams Act, or CARS Act, was signed this week by Governor Newsom, and it includes a key protection, a 3-day...
If you feel like you got bamboozled by a dealer and you didn't understand what a 6% interest rate means, and you just finally did the math that you can't afford this, you can get out of this deal.
And it includes a key protection, a 3-day cooling off period for used car purchases of $50,000 or less.
You don't have to
Who's buying a used car of $50,000 or more? I gotta know.
You don't have to prove anything. You don't even have to give an explanation. It's just, I don't want it. I want out of this deal. And the law requires the dealers to give you a refund.
Buyers can only return the car if they've driven it less than 400 miles.
So you could take it for a small road trip over the weekend, like people that used to return clothing after the prom. Don't do that.
Buyers can only return the car if they've driven it less than 400 miles. Dealers can deduct a small restocking fee from $200 up to $600, depending on the car's price.
When it comes to used cars, trust is the biggest issue. You're removing the biggest barrier to entry by giving people a cooling off period.
The law.
You give me a good deal or I'm just going to return this car in 3 days.
The law even applies to commercial vehicles, including those used for rideshare or small businesses.
You're a carpet cleaner and you have a few vans or something like that, you're covered under that return policy.
Rosemary Shahan is president of Consumers for Auto Reliability and Safety. She's been pushing for car buyer protections since the 1970s when she was living in San Diego and first picketed outside a dealership in Lemon Grove.
They tried to have me arrested. You know, there were a lot of lemons in those days.
In Lemon Grove, yes, there were a lot of lemons.
Under the new law, used or new car dealers must also be more transparent about pricing and clearly explain optional add-ons. Ivan Drury with Edmunds, a car information and shopping website, says the new law gives consumers a lot more cards to play with.
So you're telling me that if the dealer says, well, no, the only way that you get this lease offer, the only one that was advertised on the flyer, is if you pay for the aftermarket car alarm that we make you get and the GPS system that's not as good as your phone. Yeah, we have to be clear to you that you don't really have to get those add-ons. Oh, boy, the add-ons. I remember so clearly. When I was going, it wasn't a used car, but when I was hunting for my now beloved Chevy Bolt UV, and I was trying to buy it in June of 2022, when it was impossible to find one of these things, I was calling every dealer up and down the state of California, ended up getting it in Vacaville and paying $600 to flatbed it down here because there were so many dealers in Southern California where there was a price that they had. First, you had to call them and make sure they actually had the car, which a lot of them didn't. Then you had to make sure they had the model that I was looking for because I wanted the one with the Super Cruise, and even better than the Super Cruise, instead of a rear view window, it's got a rear view camera, which I'm obsessed with. My wife doesn't like it, but I love it. But every dealer that I'd call, find out if they have the car, what's the advertised price, and then you got to ask, do you have any add-ons? Which is, okay, we're going to sell you this car at this price if you spend $4,000 on all this other nonsense.
Ivan Drury with Edmunds, a car information and shopping website, says the new law gives consumers a lot more cards to play with.
Now it really comes down to the car. You don't have to worry about a lot of other things. Is this the right car for me? Because if you can return the vehicle, then guess what? That eliminates all your other worries.
No more impulse buys.
The law officially takes effect in October of next year and will not apply to private sales. Only purchases made at licensed dealerships. Brian White, CBS 8.
So if you're buying a car on Facebook Marketplace and you get scammed, that one's on you. Got to go to a dealership. Well, if you've ever missed any episodes of this show or you want to catch up on the whole week that I was filling in for John Phillips last week, you can do that by getting the podcast of that show or this show. And in fact, you should listen to the interview I had with the other guy who's running for LA Mayor, Assad Al-Najjar. That was the 1 o'clock hour. But if you want to share this show with your friends, if you enjoy this program and you want your friends or family to listen to it or listen to a recorded version of it, search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify. Find the show, hit subscribe, download all the episodes. Why not? You got room on your phone. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.